You're tuned to Vernon Derby. Oh, love, get ready for roller.
We must understand that the human asset is the human asset. And so long as someone has the ability to contribute, don't throw it away. In the United States, for example, whether you are 18, 90, or whatever, only children not allowed to work as such, you are allowed to continue to work. It's amazing that for the political figures, there's no such thing as retirement age. But for others, you have a retirement age. And we should understand that we don't have the workplace to just provide jobs, but you want the best to be able to fill those posts. Therefore, if a man is 90 and is the best person to fill that post, you're going to get rid of him because you want to give a 20-year-old a job. Doesn't make sense. So that is something that we need to change in this country. Our attitude towards the elderly. And we are very prejudiced. Nobody fool you. We are very prejudiced when it comes to the elderly. And where they are treated, they're not treated with respect. At the workplace, I'm getting feedback that they are referred to as persons who need to be redundant or gotten rid of. And there's a bunch of young people out there now, so for them time now, let me tell you something. Many of you have quite a lot to learn. When I move around and I look back at my time, not about every time everybody ages out. Not by that at all. The way I see all young people are now behaving, I don't ask you, probably persons like myself haven't socialized them properly, but they're not ready. They have no loyalty to anyone or any organization. They don't. They don't. All they think of is just making that almighty dollar. And that is a dangerous trend in our country, where many of us are interested in is making the almighty dollar. So they come today and they are gone tomorrow. And companies have to understand that, the reality that they're working with. And I tell you, the loyalty problem extends to even their parents. They have no loyalty to their parents. So as soon as they reach a certain age, to hell with their parents. They don't need them again. I gather that when they're ready, they just scare them and dump them into a hospital. And they just leave them there. And the attitude is, what am I do with them? Just think about it. When you're born, suppose your parents should have said, what am I do with you? It is just amazing. Because when you're a baby, your parents had to find something to do with you and look after you. Your parents will eventually become almost like babies. And don't let the money tell you rubbish. You see, we have started some things in this country which is just so wrong about children and not old age pension. A worthless people come up with that. Right? Now you must have 10 people because you look pension. But there's absolutely nothing wrong with having your children and your children turn around to assist you. That is what human life is all about. We are social beings. But we have come up with some modern philosophies. And notice how that is spelled. M-A-D-E-R-N. I said, boy, man, they go to school, me have my life to live. Well, guess what? When you reach a certain stage, and Alzheimer's stepping or dementia, you believe you should just throw that person onto the state? No, I must admit, where the state can help, the state should try to help. But back to these scholarships now, this is a great thing that has happened. And you have 1,000 persons. But as I said before, I do hope that the Minister of Finance and the college, that they will not only restrict the scholarships to those who are below a certain age, because a form of discrimination, it is. And we need to stop it. Talking about that, I'm glad a lady responded to a comment I made yesterday about being on boards, because that's another form of active discrimination in this country, where it is felt that unless you are a lawyer, not even doctors they respect to put on boards as such, unless you are a lawyer, something like a big businessman, you can't sit at boards. And we hear they're now talking about persons who are qualified to sit on boards. Let me tell you something. The moment you're a Jamaican citizen, the moment you can read and write and think and be analytical, you should be given the opportunity to sit on any board. Because what you want on a board is a mixture of persons. Mark my word. Put pure lawyer power on board, the good Lord help you. Put pure doctor, put pure university graduates. Because, let me tell you something, what the problems we have in Jamaica, you look at the judicial system. It's archaic. I don't care what the Chief Justice was saying. It's old-fashioned. Right? And look the amount of intellectuals who work in that system. I must admit, nowadays I hear them talking about modernizing the judicial system. But with the amount of learned persons in that system, we should have one of the most modern judicial system in the world. You have nobody, a lawyer and judge who can read and write. They're all university graduates. But it is a joke what we have for the system right now. No time say government or what. It's a fact of life. When you have a case take on 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years and longer, what kind of system is that? When you have learned persons coming up with laws, and by the way, talking about the laws, even the way they write the laws, I'm not coming off right. The way they write the laws is fool and it's stupid. The laws are not written, should not be written for just lawyers. Every single person on the street should be able to read the law and understand it. Is it that we write the law in such a way so you have to pay a lawyer to read every line and explain every line for you? No. What we are doing, those of us who have been blessed with higher education, we are setting up a system which discriminates against those who are not trained in law, for example. And Mr. Prime Minister and the government and the opposition, we need to look at that. Because what is happening, and you don't realize, I don't think you realize it at all. We are coming from a system, a colonial system, where a white man was in charge. They say, if you're white, you're all right, and if you're brown, you stick around, black, you stay back. No, it's not a color thing. It's more of a money thing and also education, depending if you go to university or not. We must stop it. All people are people. And we go even further. We refer to people as small man. Small, my foot. You think you're dead. You think anybody big or small, you're dead, you're dead. And let me tell you something. You couldn't have money till judgment come. Right now, there are outstanding persons in this country who are suffering from challenges like dementia and other problems. So let me tell you something. And I remember what I was told once that death is a leveler of all ranks. So let me tell you, stop up them kind of barriers for people. Allow persons. You have, for example, those vendors in the markets. We should have some of those vendors on the committees or boards or what have you set up by the KCAC. So we need to rethink this whole concept of just getting persons who are university graduates or who are engineers or chartered accountants to go on boards. You need them. But at the same time, you need persons who have the experience, who are street smart. Come in and ask you, what the worst thing if you ask for university graduates to do things? When you get somebody who is street smart, you hear me I tell you? It makes a big, big difference. So, I'm making a special appeal, and I'm thankful for the one person who sent me a WhatsApp message who supported the idea. More of you need to talk out. The same thing with the Constitution, And I hope to have the minister next week. That's again because we were able to make contact with her early enough. She came on as Minister Malahoo Fort. We hope to have her back next week, still in discussion with her. That we have to be careful that we think that it is technical, we think that we have to get pure lawyers. No. Ordinary little man, I should never call it, and he's not ordinary, but breathe just like anybody else. We must put persons from different areas of life, and you'll be surprised to know that they can bring something to bear. All right? So, let me think very seriously about that as to how we do business in Jamaica. Take, for example, crime. You get all the university graduates. You think them understand how the boy them function, Riemann, Jungle, and all about Manchester. You think them know? No, them intellectuals, they don't know how man flex. You'll be surprised to get some of those committee persons and some committees and them can tell you what go on. Remember I tell you that? It's like in days gone by. When they around the country, we put out the manners. They use the man, them who were pirates. Right? I don't want to go that far, but let me tell you something. we have to look at those persons who live in those areas, have the experience of crime. Get pure university graduates and they come up with some solutions. This is not a textbook thing. This is not a book you write, you know. Talking about books, before I go to it, I will have to mention something about Mr. Orlando Patterson. I saw something in some of the recommendations that he made. I have a little concern. But I tell you what, you're listening to Rudy FM, coming to you live from Kingston, Jamaica.
You're tuned to Vernon Derby. Oh, love, get ready for roller. Oh, love.